That's very helpful.
And
Okay.
I'll start the recording now, and I'll send you the recording afterwards.
Okay. Sounds good. Have a good meeting.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Hey Mark, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, perfect.
All right. So yeah, we'll start. So we'll start out with the name, where you're at, and what type of exciting things are going on with you.
All right, sounds great.
We'll go from there. What do we want to do as the next thing? Do we want to do Discord?
Here, I'm sorry, one second. What was that, Mario? Okay, do you want me to just pop it on mine and then that way you can hear too? Take the headphones out. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties today. All right, for this. All right. So sorry.
Yeah, so we'll do the introductions. We'll talk about the video,
Okay.
and then we'll go to Discord,
All right.
and then we'll talk about the dates for the Geek Out.
Got it. Um, I'd also like to make a note in terms of
Mhm.
reaching out to,
Oh, reaching. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So happy to gently nudge folks in that regard.
Yeah. Hello, Azalea. Azalea.
Hello.
She is our
Hello.
she is our new assistant manager at Hartford. At the
Oh,
Albany.
excellent. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you. And I
Wonder if I can get a wild background.
I see you, and then I see you in the background.
Yeah, it's a little trippy.
That's kind of cool.
Infinite. Ooh, I could have an avatar. We should do that for, I don't know, April 1st.
Avatar in what? In Discord?
Yes. Or no, in I can create an avatar in Zoom, actually.
Oh,
Do video effects. But I'm not gonna worry about that right now.
do we know what our AI companion is?
I don't know. I think
Ask a
it's like an
question.
automatic note taker. I
Uh,
think I remember hearing something about it.
you can ask questions to the AI companion, or disable it.
All right, I'm just gonna go for basic existing within the void.
Oh, did I do that? Firefly is a guy. That's the thing about the AI is like sometimes it inserts itself when you don't want it to.
Oh, go get some. Sorry, there's pizza in our break room.
Yeah,
Uh,
we had that too. Sorry, Azalea, but we had pizza here.
Rude.
Did
Gonna
you
make
get the Yukon food? Did you get the Yukon food? Oh,
need some like hold music. Like do 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 do.
Ba-da-ba.
yeah.
Hello, everyone. We're just waiting for a few more people. Welcome to our new year, new meeting.
Excuse me.
I think we'll wait like maybe, what, 2 more minutes?
Yeah, I think we'll do that. We can bring folks in as they arrive.
Yeah. Oh. I don't get 8 people on. Do we? Wait, is everyone on there? All right.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Say what?
All right, I think we can get started. We got 10 people. That's pretty good. Welcome everybody to the new year, new you community practice meeting. My name is Mark Pedersen. I am the manager at the Hartford Public Library's downtown branch of the Hartford Library. First, we're going to go around and just have everyone kind of introduce themselves, tell you where you're at, and tell us a little bit something about that excites you about what is going to be going on with you either at your branch or just with yourself. So about me, again, I'm at the Hartford Public Library. What is exciting to me is that our main branch, which has been closed for 2 years, is opening this next week on Tuesday after MLK Day. So that's kind of exciting to me because we've been closed for so long. You get a little tiny little preview of how big the space is. There's the music studio in the back and way in front here. The nice thing about this space is that it's enclosed, so we can blast the music and it's not disturbing the rest of the library. So that's a little bit about me. Let's hand it over to yeah, who wants to go next?
Hi, I'm Azalea. I just started as the assistant YOUmedia manager at the Hartford Public Library. What excites me is just everything in the coming year since I just started its brand new position.
Yay.
Hi, I'm Kaisha, and I'm at the Southeast Branch in Kansas City, Missouri, the makerspace here at KCDML. What's exciting me for the upcoming year is just incorporating tween programs inside of our space. Our makerspace has always been dedicated to teens, and so now we're able to incorporate some tween programming inside of our space.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just was checking in on the Southwest flight. If you've flown Southwest, you know you got to be. It was 12:05, and I got it. Boarding Group B. Marcus Brown here at the Kansas City Public Library. I facilitate the maker activities in the portion of our space alongside Kaisha and Cody, who you'll meet in just a minute. Just looking forward to adding another level of activity within the community with the work that we've been doing. We've been visiting a lot of schools, and that's been giving us a lot of good traction. Definitely, we've been layering in the math. We work with the baseball team to have a tutoring component attached to their weekly baseball practices, and then we're going to move into the spring, looking at doing some electric go-kart builds with the teams, with hopes to expand it to other teams in our league. So that's going to be a really interesting project that we try to launch here in 2025, building these electric go-karts.
I can go next. I'm Em. I'm with Nashville Public Library with Studio NPL. You can see our logo on Mariano's hat, actually. And something that I'm really excited about for the next year is okay, one of them is spoiler. We'll talk about it a little bit later, so you'll be able to tell because I'll get really excited. But in a kind of a library capacity. We've been doing some and working on some short, like looping animations to have on the projector in the background with the hopes that our music producers among our teens will actually produce music over top of them. So we can have kind of like a, retro wave or like lo-fi beats to like study and make to kind of channel. And so I'm kind of excited to see that stuff start to happen. And we actually had one of our students like bring in animations they'd done, and we did like a little mini film show, and they're going to bring more. So I brought popcorn to make when the day comes. So that's been kind of exciting seeing these kind of interdisciplinary opportunities come up.
I can go next. I'm Mariano Hayes. I work with M at Studio NPL in Nashville. And we've got a lot of stuff going on. January is when you start planning for the summer. So we have a lot of things going on. We have a couple of our junior mentors who are actually taking the lead on planning one of our intensives. Intensives are sort of camps of ours. We don't really call them camps. We're not sleeping in the woods. But we're working on 3D designing molds for plant pots that we will cast and plant some succulents. So that's one of the things that we have working on right now.
Awesome. We definitely would love to hear more about the planting the succulents and the making the molds. So if you could, if you're willing to share that maybe on the community practice site, because we want to do some stuff like that too. All right, who is up next? Who hasn't gone yet?
No audio, Carmelie, no audio.
Is that a little better? There you go. Hello. My name is Carmelie. I'm with the Pima County Library here in Tucson, Arizona. I'm part of the teen/tween services. Something we're excited about. This is also our time when we start planning for summer. And what Pima County Library does is they have Mega Mania, which is kind of like a big Comic-Con, but for free. So in order to help promote it, we do a bunch of fun activities like with STEM or like pop culture. So like they're very excited for like, they want activities like Mario, or they want like a Taylor Swift thing, like making friendship bracelets. Or they made costumes last year for Mega Mania. So they made capes, all kind of stuff like that. So we're excited to start planning that.
Yes, I'll follow in. My name is Genesis Florendo. I'm the young adult librarian here at Pima County Libraries at Tucson, Arizona, and I'm building a little mini makerspace. Like we just got our first 3D printer. I just arrived at our first Nintendo Switch, so we're really at the first layers of trying to bring a makerspace to the community. And I'm definitely going to try to pick those who are more established and they know how to write grants and get funding for equipment. I'm definitely going to pick your brains and try to listen to those who've already done it before. Most recently, I did a intro to 3D modeling workshop. And that was fun because we just utilized some free programs online, and hopefully we can teach young young teens how to use 3D printers and 3D modeling. Yeah.
Anyone else has not gone?
I'll read it from the chat. We have Manuel in oh, pardon me. We'll have trouble with that. Um Fernandez, teen and young adults at the Hartford Public Library, and they're excited for the new media at the Downtown Library to open on January 21st. So congratulations. That is a big, wonderful thing there.
Awesome. And just a reminder, I mean, we hear a lot of like different things going on as we start the new year. Just remember, like, if you need connections, use the network, but also feel free to like get other people's emails. So if you need information about starting the makerspace or anything with 3D printing or anything, definitely let's kind of collaborate. This is what the YOUmedia network's all about. It's just kind of getting together and sharing resources, sharing knowledge between all of us. We've got a lot. We have a lot of knowledge, a lot of cool programs that are going on. I think that's everyone that was on the list. Event we have Katie from Katie Westfall. She just got here. Katie, we're just introducing everyone. If you want to tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Adam had perfect timing.
Yeah, she told me a little bit about what happened, but like
She was this patron. I was helping her with like a new card, like get her card reestablished because there was a typo with the number.
great.
And then I was gonna set her up with a pin, and she didn't want to give it to me. And I was like, the system, requests that you give me a pin. And I just type it in, and then she's like, okay, like so. Then I gave her. She's like, I don't want to say it out loud, so I gave her a pen and paper. And then she was like, wait, I don't want to give you my pin. And I was like, I need to have a pin to create your account.
Yeah,
And
promise I won't remember it.
And yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna go into your account and check things out on your account. And
Yeah.
then caught it, and she was still like, no. And then Cotton was coming down. I was like, can you think of another way to get a pin? Because there is some trick with the self-checkout.
Yeah, you
I
can do
forget
that.
how to do that. And so that's why I was asking Cotton, and I was kind of done. And then Cotton moves the keyboard up, and then she makes a typo, and then backspace. And then I was just sitting there, and she's like, I don't like her attitude. And Cotton's like, she's just trying to help, and like, we need a pin from you. And then she was like, she's acting like a bitch. And
Okay.
then Cotton grabbed the keyboard, and she's like, okay, like, you need to go. And I was like, yep, you cannot call library staff a bitch.
Yep.
And I was like, you need to leave. And then
I'm not sure if she was sharing that with us. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's move on. Okay. So the next thing we want to share is we are starting a video series. I don't think do you know if we have the actual video that John had shared with us?
I don't know that we have it just yet. I know that John mentioned that he was going to send over video instructions.
Yep. So I'm gonna paste the video instructions in the chat. So we don't have the video right now, but just to give you an idea, basically we want to make a video that introduces all the maker spaces. So it'll be kind of a first person perspective going through the room, and we're gonna make some examples of this. So myself, John, we're gonna make some intros so you can kind of see how it goes. So you're kind of going through the maker space, and then you hand it off to the next person. Once you hand it off, someone takes that takes that and then shares their makerspace. So it all connected together, and that'll make more sense once you see the actual video. If any of you haven't been to the last meeting, so take a look at the Google Doc that I shared, and just let me know if anyone has any trouble getting into the doc. that'll give you instructions on that. But we want to put together kind of a video that goes with that.
We requested permission to view it.
Okay. I think John is going to need to do that. So we're gonna post that. We're gonna send that to the by email, basically. Unfortunately, he is not here right now. I'm gonna try to share the screen just so we can kind of take a look at it. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'll go over it really quick. Let me just take a look at this. Sorry, a second. Okay. Yeah, it basically gives a step-by-step guide of what we'll do. So you're going to plan the video's message, define the purpose of the video, decide the key areas to feature, what workshops, where in your space. Then you're going to write a script, write the opening, introduce yourself, highlights of your YOUmedia lab, and then record the video. Yeah, it just gives a step-by-step and what types of files it is. But again, I will send that out by email once we have a couple of samples of the video to take a look at. So yeah, unfortunately, we don't have as much information as I wanted for that. So let's go on to Discord. Emmett, you want to talk about our Discord initiative?
Okay, that was my excitement for those of you who are waiting for it. So one of the things that we have been kind of getting feedback about and that we have kind of been noticing is that the Community of Practice website is really great in a lot of ways. It's a really good online archive of what's come before, but it can definitely be a little challenging to use at times. I think we've all had moments where like, did it send? Did it not send? And also it doesn't work as great for kind of media asset sharing for kind of like longer, like quick conversations about things. And so one of the things that we looked at doing is actually starting a Discord server so that we can have kind of an informal space to gather and be able to communicate and talk. So I'll drop the Discord link in here here in a second, or actually, Mark, I think you might have it in the emails if you don't mind. But the kind of the idea of this is that this is not so much for like our students at this stage or like the people we work with in our makerspace, but this can kind of start out as a place for us as a YOUmedia group to be able to connect. So I know that, for example, some of your computers may not allow Discord based off of your institutional regulations, but this can be something that, since it is like an informal space, it's more about like our professional growth and community as well. You know, if you put it on your mobile phone, on your own personal computer, it can be a space you can kind of drop in and drop out as you'd like. So that is a link. It will never expire. So if you're like, I don't know, what does Discord have for me? You can always save the link and come back to it later, or just, bother me and I'll send it anytime. And we are going to do a kind of a geek out session that ideally we'll host on Discord to kind of showcase like how it works, what it's like, how it can be a resource, and just also kind of the nuts and bolts about it that kind of get me excited. So if you're unfamiliar with what Discord is, those resources are also coming, or like I said, you can literally bug me. I essentially live there. But yes, this will be kind of just a neat place for us to be able to more easily share images, especially if things in progress, get feedback, be able to like have voice chats or creative co-work sessions, just kind of different community building that the COP, like I said, it's a great archive and it's a great documentation, but we really wanted something more kind of in the moment and active. Something that we can just kind of, again, drop in and drop out as we need to. If there's any like initial questions about it or anything like that, I'm happy to take some short ones now, or I can write them down for my bigger conversation as we get there. Is there anything important I missed, Mark?
No, I think that's about it. I mean, I'll be talking about the geek out sessions, but one of the geek out sessions will be teaching people that don't know anything about Discord, how to use it, because it can be kind of difficult when you're first using that.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll say too is that part of again why this is right now like for us as a network. Maybe in the future we might want to open it up and so potential members could see it as an asset, or some of the people like that we work with, or you know, just interested public. Right now it's kind of like for our space. And as you're going in there and as you're looking at it, please feel free to flag anything or mention anything that you feel like it needs, that you want fleshed out. If there's an interest area, right now there's two interest areas, which is 3D printing and fiber arts. And while I have more interest in that, that was just kind of good to have something in there to kind of show. So as there are things that we want to change, develop, adjust, this is like a community kind of collective conversation. So.
And then basically kind of to add on to what Em was saying, it'll be a space that when you are like, I think someone mentioned about starting a new space, you want information about like which printer is the best one to use. If we all post on our thoughts about things, it'll be a great resource guide for any of the media spaces, especially for projects. There's so many cool projects that I didn't even think about that could go on there. So yeah, if anyone, again, if anyone has any questions about that, feel free to put that in the chat, and Em can answer that. Thank you, Em. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is our geek outs. So one of the new things, we're trying to do more connections with the network. So in February, we're going to do our first geek out that people can join if they want. We also record that geek out and post that to our site, both on Discord and I believe on YouTube also. I don't know if we talked about having a YouTube channel, but I believe we'll have some sort of thing on there. So basically, the geek outs are going to be different learning sessions. Some of them can be simple, some of them can be more complex. The first one that we're going to be doing, which I will want to find out who is interested and who it is available for that. We want to do either February 10th or February 13th. So take a look at your calendar. I want to do a simple Tinkercad and 3D printing workshop. So for anyone that has not used Tinkercad, I'll be sharing some different things that you can how you can use that. And for people that have used Tinkercad, I mean, maybe there's some things that I can teach you that some different workshops, so the ways I use it. And then we'll want to kind of people to share during that workshop, and if they have any other different practices that I might not be doing that you want to share. Tinkercad, for anyone that has not used it, is probably the easiest 3D program to start off with, and it's very easy to share. You can have like 20, 30 accounts, and as a teacher, you can go into that account and help them out along the way. So I'm looking for, again for the 10th or the 13th of February, but I'm also trying to figure out the best time. I think the best time is 1 p.m. Eastern time, kind of the same one. But if anyone that is interested in that workshop could write in the chat what times are better for you, and also if the 10th or 13th is better for you, because I'm just kind of going to go off of who's here now. And then again, if you're not able to attend it, that'll be recorded, and you can kind of access that later. Also, with these geek outs, I'll create a nice little logo for that. I'll want people to come up with their own geek outs that they might want to share. It could be between the staff, if you want. Maybe later on we can do something where if you want to have a student host a geek out, that may be kind of a cool thing. Yeah. Any questions about that at all? Fairly simple. Again, we're looking to connect more with the network so that it's a regular resource you use. Because basically in the past we've been really just doing these meetings and we get to meet each other, which is a lot of fun. but it'd be great if we can like utilize this network even more. We do have community meetings that happen every couple years. I went to Chicago and that was amazing because I get to meet a little of everyone from the networks, got to know them. And actually, Em, if you want to talk about the surveys that we're doing.
Yeah, so also in the spirit of getting to know folks and getting to know your spaces and kind of where you all are headed for the year, we are, and some of you have probably gotten emails from me already or from Mark or John, but we are trying to do a series of just kind of like short conversations with each of our sites, each of our member labs. And so if you haven't had a chance to schedule with us yet, or if you are a little bit like me and just totally ignored your inbox until about January 10th, which is a valid response to the holidays, by the way. You know, touch base with us, either shake me or Mark or John or Christina. And we'd love to just kind of like talk to you, see kind of what your goals are for the year as a space, what you're looking at, what you're worried about, what you want to improve. And also just kind of give some updates on what's going on with the network itself, some of our goals as a bigger umbrella, and the things that we're trying to angle for to help make this a more productive space for everyone. And so in that, if there's things that you're concerned about, if there's resources you think you might need, if you have questions for us, feel free to, bring those up, shoot those over, and and let us know how we can also help support you too. Like that's kind of the biggest thing. We really, want this to be a space where we can really like encourage and support the work that you all are doing. And also for me, as a new program coordinator with YOUmedia, this is a great way for me to just kind of get to know all of your spaces a little bit. If virtually and from a distance, but I'm kind of excited about that. And so.
And Em, I think that's all we had on our agenda, right?
I think that is.
Yeah, it's pretty short list of things to talk about. So if anyone has anything they want to like bring up or talk about, or Genesis, we can talk about the space that you're looking to open.
Yeah, so here at Martha Cooper Library, we don't have a huge space. We have like about 2 cubicles worth of room, but that's where I intend to keep our 3D printer. We have a TV with audio and we hope to have like gaming in there, some VR headsets. It's really a bit of a mini makerspace just to have a community resource and try to introduce these cool technologies to the youths in the area. Um, what was some pain points for those who first built and started out their maker spaces? Any any problem areas, concerns, paperwork?
Well, actually, the first question I have for you, how much storage space do you have?
We have a storage area for the library, so about like three three cabinets worth of material. I have about 10 boxes of filament. Uh, it's not a lot, but it's a start.
Because like having like a smaller space, it's good to have like something that can roll out so that you can kind of like today we're going to work on this and only have that out there. I know actually Azalea, that space is pretty small that we have at our other space. So I don't know if you want to talk to him about that, the challenges of a small area. Not
Um,
putting you on the spot.
well, we also have kind of a unique position where we have a middle and a high school right behind us, so we have a flood of kids coming in. Our space isn't quite as small as what you're describing, but I've found that just being able to have things that you rotate in and out of the space to provide a variety of programming and what's available. So like something that we actually just recently did. I wonder if you can. Oh well, my background is blurred, but we have this wheeling cabinet that we currently store like pretty much everything that our sewing program needs in it, so that when it's time to do that, we just roll the cabinet out and everything is just basically set to go. Um, Before, it was all stored separately in the closet. It was multiple bins that had to come out and like pulling the machines out of the cabinets and stuff. So that sort of consolidated and kind of portable storage is a good idea. And then another thing that we recently did, we have a lot of interest in the 3D printing in our space as well. So we have a good amount of filament that we didn't have a good storage solution for. So we actually went and 3D printed wall hooks to hang the filament on and just arranged them on the wall. That's a good small space solution. Other than that, that's what I can think of right now, but I can definitely brainstorm more.
Super cool ideas. Thank you. We're definitely gonna try to find some portable storage and be more dynamic because retail area. I mean, space is more scarce. Try to be more impactful with what we have. Question, how do you guys stay consistent? And how often is your programming?
So um, we have a programming schedule that's set per day of the week. So sewing will only come out, I think it's Monday and Thursday. Um, 1 or 2 days we'll do painting. Like we keep things as close to a set schedule as we can, and that gives the students an idea of what to expect when they come in, as well as sort of managing our own workload for what we have to watch.
I was
Hope
also
that
gonna
answered.
I was also gonna echo that in the sense of in our main space we have a lot more room to just be able to facilitate kind of whatever anybody's working on, but in a lot of our branches we have a lot of smaller space. And so it is just kind of like Wednesdays, so and so is going to be here working on this kind of activity. Like, and we usually keep the themes fairly broad, so there's room to pivot if you get there and you're like, oh, somebody has actually used up all the yarn. But you can still do fiber stuff. But we do try to like give the kids a heads up of like these days are for these types of things. And it can be, even in our main space, we'll have like a general kind of topic around the day. So it's like Thursdays are creative writing. Other things may happen, but they can't conflict with creative writing. So you're not going to be able to like play unplugged on the guitars or plugged in on the guitars. But on Fridays, it's like music day. And so we want to be able to hear live music and do that stuff. We probably are not going to run the laser cutters or anything that's really loud. So it's just kind of like facilitating in that way where you can still be a little flexible, but generally have an expectation for the kids, and you'll probably see different kids come for different activities or different days, at least till they start to like really get sucked into everything.
Thank you.
Also, you mentioned that you're working with young adults. Is that the primary age group that you're going to be working with this makerspace, or is it for more ages?
We've been getting a lot of children and tweens along with their parents mostly, but my focus is young adults. Um, I'm open to having like all age groups too. But this most recent workshop that I held, there were a lot more elderly. They're trying to learn about the 3D printing and 3D modeling, which was interesting.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I was gonna say is with depending on how you're thinking about your space or you're designing the elements that are coming in and out. I worked in a space that we ended up having a lot of very young kids come through as part of family. And so thinking about mostly like trying to anticipate the ways that somebody could hurt themselves and being prepared to either like have staff ready to like moderate that, like, oh, today is not a day for us to stand on top of the high chairs. Um, versus you know, thinking about like if you, for example, with some of the groups we work with slightly more tween ages, and it can go down to like age 10. And we'll have like a sharp station during our activity. So you can't just take an X-Acto blade or even a pair of scissors and just go, wherever in the space. Like you go to the sharp station and there's an adult who works there with them. Or like the like sharps, hot glue, things that need a little bit more supervision that you would hope that a kid would know how to use, and then you have a high schooler try to give each other hot glue gun burns. So it kind of, thinking about it in that sense of like how can you kind of like work with like that multi-age group when it inevitably happens.
One of the things that we had to deal with is like we used to check out for game stations like the PS5 or the Xbox. We used to check out the controllers, but then sometimes they go missing. But what we didn't realize is they have actual boxes to go around the actual PlayStation. And then now our new solution with controllers is just to get a tethered controller. Now those can come out of the box, but we're going to 3D print a little ring around it so that when the box is locked, it can't be pulled out. It's probably, the PS5 controller probably isn't as good, but it's good enough for playing, and that will kind of solve that solution. Because some activities you want to have as passive, and if you have to keep an eye on it all the whole time, it's difficult. And teens will be teens. Things go missing. They're pushing the boundaries. That's their job.
Yeah, I would add to that. Just don't feel like you have to have everything in a makerspace to get started. Well, obviously not to get started, but because it's as wide and far reaching as all of our imaginations can go. And so don't feel like you have to, oh, well, look at what's happening in Kansas City. Look at what's happening in Hartford. No, move at Pima County pace, and you will arrive where you need to arrive because, you know, you can buy a bunch of equipment and have a bunch of stuff and it'll sit around and collect dust until that one person comes into the space. I think it's a good idea to get good with something, offer it in a variety of ways, and then level up as you see the interest from the patrons on the things that you have in the space, especially if it's limited. Um, so yeah, just don't feel like you got to offer everything. And again, just simple stuff like we still do board games, we still do beads, passive activities. And so in as much as we do all the tech stuff with the RC cars, rockets, and drones, we still are as low tech as paper airplanes and beads too. So don't leave that piece out.
Yeah. And to kind of add on to what Marcus was saying, like for example, you can play around with that. Like if you do paper airplanes, have like a leaderboard for has traveled like the highest or the farthest, give them something to shoot for, literally. Um, we do a lot with recycled materials. Amazon boxes are like our best friends. But there's some really great programming. I'll pop it into the Discord and the COP about that just kind of like uses recycled materials as a way of kind of approaching like prototyping. And so we do a lot of that, especially for outreach. And yeah, so yeah, you can start really simple. And what Marcus was saying is like let the community dictate. Like have a whiteboard up and even just like a little guy that just where people can write down what they want to see or can we do a lot of like weird surveys where we'll ask them like cake versus pie, and that gets them used to like engaging on an answer, like answering questions. So when we put up like, do you want to learn this versus this? We have better response rates with them actually, responding to us. And the more that you talk to them and build those relationships too, they're gonna tell you, you're gonna see it. You're gonna observe them where they might not ever say it, but they're always crocheting or, you know, they get really into board game, like what's happening with the mechanics. And then you're like, oh, okay, we can do like a board game design. We can 3D print your pieces. We did custom Monopoly money for our games, featuring like illustrations or faces by the people like in the space. So there's ways to like make it tech, even if you're doing simple things.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Anyone else have any words of advice? I think it's all really great. I like that idea of the cake or pie and not just having it serious survey questions. I might have to incorporate that. That's fun.
So we're gonna do March Madness this year, but centered around different types of ways to do potatoes. So like where it's like waffle fries versus crinkle fries, mashed potatoes versus baked potatoes. Um, so yeah, that's something we're gonna do this year, and I've committed to. I don't even like potatoes, so this is how much I like our teens. I've committed to like buying whatever type of potato wins so that we can have it as a snack. Um, so yeah, silly things like that are, I think, fun ways to do really simple engagement that the kids really get into. So
Yeah, we just did with M&Ms. We one of our facilitators, she brought pretty much every M&M that you could possibly find on the market, and we did a blind taste test in brackets versus, I mean, this was the pretzel M&Ms, the peanuts, the roasted, the plain, the caramel, the peanut butter. It was, and so we just again, just that idea of different ways that you can engage. It's not always the high tech thing, and especially with teens getting out of school, um, they don't always want to come into the space and do some heavy lifting. And so if you got some other things that they can cling to that'll keep them coming back, it's always important to have those low barrier of participation, because I always consider that. You've been in school for 7 hours, and now I'm asking you to come in here and think hard.
so Marcus, Mark wants to know which one won of your M&Ms.
Which one was it, Cody? Do you remember? Because
I'm trying to
peanuts
think.
won for me. So
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like Peanut one, and like we did a staff round and then we did the kids round. For the kids round, I want to say it was
was it?
almond. What
Yeah,
was it almond?
I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Peanut butter came up close and peanut came up close. So like all those. And then the one that left immediately was cold brew.
Well, when we get our potato bracket made up, if anybody else wants it, I can make sure to post it out there. So, because it's about to get real.
Awesome. So, question, does anyone have any problems getting into the Discord? Has anyone signed up for the Discord yet? We did post that in there. We had got a couple. Cool. Um, yeah. Do we have any
Is this a new Discord, or is this from the one that we were trying to do some time ago?
So this is a new Discord.
Okay.
The old Discord is Finay, deleted, no more. So this is a new one.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool what you can do with Discord for anyone that's not familiar with it. The Discord that we have at YOUmedia in Hartford, which I haven't been on in quite a while, we have it so that like 13 to 19 can talk to each other, but we had an area for college students and they can't talk to the younger students. So there's ways to actually like have it so that it's safe. And we also vet people so we don't get someone from Europe that's trying to play in our chess club. We'd love to have them, but we'd rather just have it, the Hartford students.
Has it been a pretty straightforward process doing that, or do you have to have a little bit of technical know-how in the Discord setting to be able to provide that separation?
So it is a fairly straightforward process. You do have to kind of dig around in the settings a little bit. And when we do the geek out, I'll, screen share and kind of show what that looks like. But yeah, it is remarkably easy to set up like different layers of like your walled garden kind of environment. So that is kind of the nice thing about it. And there's additional things you can do that require slightly more technical know-how. Like you can have bots that will automatically assign roles. You'll have bots that can automatically engage, that can watch language, do different things like that. And then you can kind of go like even deeper with it. But to get kind of your basic setup is really easy. Discord actually has a bunch of templates that they'll provide now as well. So that if you're like, I want this kind of thing, I want that kind of thing. This is for gaming. This is for more of a work environment. This is for community. This is just for me and my friends. They give you some options.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sorry. The biggest thing to think about too, they tell you right off when you're making the server, make it a community. That gives you way more moderation control rather than just like I think it's just between server and community are the two options.
Thank you both. I appreciate that.
Okay, we have a little more time. Does anyone want to talk about anything else? Any things coming up in the new year that you want to? Well, it's not the new year anymore. It's already a couple weeks in. But yeah, anything you want to talk about?
Actually, I do have something I'd love to pick everyone's brain about. Our branch manager asked if we were planning on doing any specific Black History Month programming. So if anyone has anything they'll be doing for that or any suggestions, I would be very open.
We do have a couple of activities that Kaisha has been working on laying out. She's really pushing the envelope forward on our activities this month. One of which there's a person, African American, that was responsible for making the potato. So we're going to do fried potatoes and make our own potato chips. And then another one is that we're going to do so African American by the name of Lonnie Johnson, who invented the super soaker. And so we're going to make some super soakers, DIY super soakers. Yes. Uh, she's chiming in. I can hear her, but so we're going to do that just again to give it some motion, some activity. Only thing that I wish it was a little bit warmer here in Kansas City, so we can really just have some fun with the super soakers. But we were trying to find some easy enough activities that didn't cost a whole bunch, but just kind of makes it more active versus the Dr. King type speech and the typical stuff. So again, and us being makers, we wanted to do something. We'll also do a movie. We're still trying to figure that out. So we're going to just try to have at least one activity per week. Oh, Motown Bingo. She's yelling at me. Just say this. Motown Bingo. So yeah, we'll do Motown Bingo. So we'll play the song out loud, and then if you have that song, then you obviously fill in the card. So
I love that idea.
There's also, I'd have to look up who did it because it's been a few years since I had bought the set for my last makerspace. But there's also a really great, I think they're on several decks at this point of kind of like trading cards of like Black inventors that you can get. And so it just kind of talks about like who the person was, when they lived, what they made, and those are just kind of nice passive things to have for people to kind of like pick up and talk about, or kind of like stick up places.
Great, thank you.
I saw your question in the chat, Carmelie, but I actually don't know what a Charlie cart is.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Awesome. So whenever we do have any cooking or anything at our branch, we use a Charlie cart. Of course, we have to have someone who has been certified to handle food and everything for the public, but it's basically an awesome cart. It has all the utensils you need for cooking, so like spoons, spatulas, anything like that. Of course, if anything's hot for like safety reasons, make sure the kids know. But we recently had a program, one of our librarians helped with making fry bread. So delicious. And then we had a story time with it and everything. But yeah, it's let me see. I can probably send a link about it in case anyone else is interested. Here we go. But that's usually what we'll use if we have anything with cooking or anything like that. So it's really fun. Let me send it here. There you go. And then we also have a nutrition student from the U of A who is coming to do programs for her teens, who's going to talk about what are they interested in, how to make parfaits, smoothies, stuff like that, just to get them interested in what they like to eat or about cooking and just nutrition as a whole. So yeah, I recommend it if you guys never heard about it.
So this is not exactly like I guess it's like Black History Month adjacent, but we're going to be doing a kind of a multi-day Mardi Gras mask making with one of the outreach sites that we work with. The person at that site actually does Mardi Gras regalia, you know, kind of in the tradition of like the Black Native American costume designers. So he's going to do a part about like the symbolism of Mardi Gras and like what the colors mean and a lot of the major symbols. And also like show examples of the stuff that he's worked on and kind of like the importance it has within his community. And then the kids at the site are going to be, we're going to bring like coloring pages where they can kind of like work out their own symbolism, like things that are important to them and like incorporating some of the things that they talked about. And then the next time we're going to bring paper masks that can actually decorate and create the Mardi Gras mask for themselves. So again, it's kind of, you know, adjacent, but could be an interesting conversation.
Awesome. A lot of good information. Close to 2 o'clock. Unless anyone has any other fun stuff to share or any questions, we could end before 2.
Can you please send invite for the February, what was it, the 13th? And
Yeah.
so that I'll add that to our calendar.
Yep. So I will I'll email that out and I'll make sure everyone on the list here is highlighted.
It was nice to meet all y'all. Thank you for sharing your ideas and experience.
Yeah, thank you everyone for coming out and to the meeting. I hope that we keep growing and sharing with each other and just, you know, encouraging everyone to create. All right. I think should we end the meeting for now?
I think so. It's been great seeing you all. Go away. Well, I will check in with the folks that have joined on Discord and just make sure if any of you have any questions or again, it's been a weird week for me, so if there's any like glaring errors, feel free to just at me. And